What a weekend on so many different levels. Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of John Ammo's Archives. I guess let's just dive right into the Eagle game. I don't even know where to start with these guys. I talked about it 2 weeks ago that they're scaring me with this, fourth quarter collapsing and then letting up, big sloppy plays at the end of the game. And I said, as soon as we start playing better teams like the Tennessee Titans and like the Houston Texans and like the Indianapolis Colts, that if we keep doing this, we're not going to win those games. Well, lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, take it no further than the Eagles' 31-19 loss to the Tennessee Titans. Now, I mean, for those who didn't watch the games, I'm sure most of, the Eagle fans out there watched the game. To the haters out there, the Redskins fans, the Cowboys fans, or the Giants fans that, might have just heard about the score. The Eagles thoroughly dominated this whole, first 3.5 quarters of football. Like, they dominated the whole game. They were up 19-7 with a few minutes left in the third quarter. It was almost to the point where, it was snack time. Like, you could get up, go to the microwave, or, make a snack and, not really have to pay as close attention or switch the channel to another game because you were confident. And then all of a sudden, in just stunningly unprecedented fashion, I shouldn't really say unprecedented because they've been doing it, but this time it was so bad and it lasted, from the end of the third quarter all through the fourth, where they just blew it, man. Like, they just absolutely 100%, just blew it. Like, Kevin Cobb blew it, and Shady McCoy blew it on the fumble recovery, and it's just really disappointing that these guys, you have such a big lead in a game and you can't secure the game. You can't lock down the game. I mean, it was to the point where on the radio, Ike Reese was starting to mention players of the game. Like, we had the game wrapped up, and it's real disappointing because as the Eagles would have been 5-2, along with the New York Giants, and now we're 4-3 again. It's anybody's ball game. I'm still totally not worried about it. It's still 7 games into the season, so everybody's fine, but somebody. But we'll get into that in a second. But and granted, Michael Vick will make things a lot better. I know that, but we can't be losing games like this, man. Like, there comes a time, a point in time where you have to say enough is enough, and I just don't, I see a total lack of discipline. I see, who would be perfect for the Eagles right now? A little bit of veteran leadership like Brian Dawkins in the backfield. To shake these guys, or not that he was the best coverage safety in the league. Lord knows he hit hard. But just for his leadership and vocal, ability to wake these guys up, man. These guys can't be letting up 225 yards to Kenny Britt. By far, Kenny Britt's biggest game ever in the NFL. Not saying that he's not going to be an up and coming stud. He was a first round draft pick early too, but 225 yards, man, and 24 points in a quarter and a few minutes is just absolutely ridiculous. And Kevin Cobb, he is what he is. He had a good game last couple weeks. And, didn't look that great as far as I was concerned out there this past week. But it'll be good to get Michael Vick back. It's good to have a bye week. When we get back from the bye, we have a huge game against the Colts. But this NFL, if you guys remember last year, the Colts and the New Orleans Saints were dominating the league in such a fashion where this year it's not like that. It's everybody, the division's wide open. It's anybody's ball game. And speaking of the division being wide open and it being anybody's ball game, it's It's so funny how, like, sportscasters work. Like Mike and Mike in the Morning and all these other guys who now they've switched. The pendulum has switched to the Giants. Totally, forgetting the fact that the Eagles very well might have defeated a better Tennessee Titans team than than the Giants playing the Cowboys. All of a sudden the pendulum has switched to the Giants. Now the Giants are the big thing, and it's just kind of funny how first it was the Cowboys, and I'm not saying that me being an Eagles fan that it has to be the Eagles, but for God's sake, I mean, now they're talking about the Giants in the same sentence as the Atlanta Falcons, their new favorite, and who replaced the Green Bay Packers, who replaced the Minnesota Vikings, and it's like all these guys are such bandwagon bullshit. Like, they're so full of shit. It's one week to one week to one week they change their freaking opinions every week. And I just think it's ridiculous that, the Giants turned the ball over 4 times yesterday. There's no way when Michael Vick is back, in my opinion, are the Giants going to beat the Eagles. That's just in my opinion. So we'll see when it comes down to it. It's going to be an interesting matchup. But, to all of a sudden anoint the Giants as the favorite, to me, is really just downright laughable. And speaking of laughable, you knew I was going to have to do this eventually. And it's just sad now at this point. Obviously the Cowboy season is done. You guys are a bunch of losers. You guys were going to be 1-5 anyway. I don't see what the freaking difference is. I don't see why Tony Romo has to go down for the season. As you know, I confessed a couple weeks ago that I picked him in fantasy football. You guys are garbage, man. You can't even. I mean, it's so disappointing on so many levels. I would have taken 1-5 and have Romo start the rest of the season. Give me a break. I mean, let the guy freaking play. Now it's like it just went from bad to worse, and my fantasy squad put up a record-setting 172 points or something like that this week. I had Nick Fadden. I had my team. I had a bunch of studs, man. I had Colston, Ocho Cinco, and all of a sudden, my perfect fantasy team is destroyed because the Dallas Cowboys offensive line sucks. So that's it. Tony Romo, broken freaking collarbone. As if it couldn't get any worse for the Dallas Cowboys. All these idiots out there who were making your videos at the beginning of the season talking about, oh, we're going to go to the playoffs, NFC East. I saw that fat kid make a video about Kevin Cobb, and he was talking about all this nonsense about and now look at you, sucker. Now look at you. Your team is 1-5. Your quarterback's got a broken collarbone. It's over. It's sad. It's just pathetic. And you just got to shake your head in disgust, man. I feel it's to the point now where almost it's so bad that John Ammo just might lay off you for a little while. Well, probably not. I'll be back next week on that one. But, yeah, it's over for the Cowboys, so that's a wrap. Anybody's division, real disappointing game for the Eagles in the fourth quarter. I got to wrap this one up. This is John Ammo from the Archives.